Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Tommy. In this video, I'm going to show you how I made this rolling cart for my benchtop joiner. Whether it's your first time here, or even if you've been here before, welcome to 1 Minute Workbench. I'm using Baltic birch plywood for this build. It's a little bit more expensive, but I really wanted this thing to turn out nice since I'm going to use it all the time. I created blueprints for this project, and because I'm working off of those blueprints, I'm able to make all my cuts before I start any assembly. This really helps things go quickly. If you want to build one of these, you can buy the plans at my website and get all the dimensions for all these cuts I'm making. Here, I'm just inspecting the drawer faces to make sure I like the way they look. And this is just a test for the rabbets I'm going to add to the drawer bottoms. The test looked good, so I repeated the process on every single drawer bottom. Some of the rabbets required a little bit of cleanup, which was easily achieved with a flat file and a chisel. Here, I'm cutting a couple of notches into the center divider. These notches and the rabbets for the drawers are the only secondary types of cuts required for this build. Everything else is just a simple rectangle, and there are a lot of rectangles. I used this really straight piece of pine to create shims that would help me create the correct spacing between the drawers. I used a pair of calipers and a sander to make sure the shims were the exact thickness I wanted. After that, it was time to get started with the assembly. For this build, I only used pin nails, glue, and clamps. No screws. I wanted the outside surfaces to have a very clean look. Getting the cabinet assembly started was a bit tricky, but not too bad. After I had the first few pieces together, everything else started falling into place. Except for this piece, which I cut a hair too long. To fix it, I just shaved the end down with a hand plane. Then it was a perfect fit. So the camera stopped recording, but all you missed was I added this center divide piece, which is dead center between these two walls, and I added this back panel. So now what I'm gonna do is set this thing aside and get started building the drawers. Since all the drawer bottoms were rabbeted, the walls of the drawers were actually really easy to line up and shoot into place. The material for the drawers is really thin, so occasionally a pin nail would come through. To clean these up, I used either a pair of needle nose pliers, or in some cases, like this one, I would just file it down. The process was the same for all the drawers. Once I had those knocked out, I started adding the runners. The height of all the drawers is determined by this bottom set of runners, so I was careful to remove all debris and any glue that had hardened in the corners. This will make sure that the runners are just the right height. When I tested the first drawer with its face, I immediately noticed that the face was protruding too far forward. I thought it might be caused by slight imperfections like burrs, splinters, and glue squeeze out. So I sanded the entire drawer smooth. After just a little sanding, it was almost flush. And after a little more, it was perfect. After I was sure it was a perfect fit, I attached the face. I repeated this same process for every single drawer. After all the drawer faces were attached and the glue had dried, I used the shims to start adding the next set of runners. This next set of runners acts as the top runners for the bottom drawer and the bottom runners for the drawer above it. I did a dry fit just to see how everything looked. Everything looked good, so I went ahead and added them. After adding them, I was careful to clean up the squeeze out to keep it from interfering with the sliding action of the drawers. I repeated the same process for the top drawer runners, and that's when I noticed this. Something must have been just a little bit off somewhere along the way, but it was easy enough to fix by shaving down the face with a hand plane. I probably could have trimmed it on the table saw, but this seemed like a safer approach. Installing the top set of guides for the top drawers presented a new challenge. So I have to put these top guides in up here for the top drawer, but it's tough to tell whether or not if I put this in, if the drawer is actually going to fit. So I think what I'm going to do is just shoot one nail in each one just to hold it up in place. And then I'm going to test it out, and if it's not sliding properly, I can pull that one nail and trim the piece down. And that's exactly what I did. And sure enough, it was just a smidge too tight. So I trimmed it on the table saw and kept going. When the drawers all looked good, I added these blocks that basically just add extra thickness for the screws that will mount the casters in place. After that, it was time to add finish. It was looking pretty good, except for this. So I'm just about ready to put the drawer handles on these drawers. And there's something that's really bugging me, and I can't let it go, and that is the fact that I'm getting an inconsistent reveal around the drawers. So I'm going to attempt to make it to where when I push in the drawers, I get a consistent reveal all the way around. To accomplish this, I cut up some thin strips of wood and then cut them down to lengths of about 2 inches. I used a sander to create a reed type of shape for each of the strips. Basically, I wanted a shim that was slightly smaller than the size of the reveal that then tapered down to a paper-thin edge. It's important that the shims be smaller than the size of the reveal, otherwise the drawers would become tight. I tested each drawer with a set of shims until I found the perfect set for each drawer. This worked out really great. It created consistent reveals for all the drawers, and none of them were too tight. If you did have one that was too tight, you could just sand the shims down until you had a good fit. Adding the handles to the drawers was pretty straightforward. The toughest part was marking the centers. To make it easier, I threw together this center marking jig. It helped me on most of the drawers, but the 2 bottom ones had to be done old school because they were too wide for the jig. After all the marks were in place, I drilled the holes with this guide block to ensure they were straight. Luckily, the screws that came with the handles were just the right length for the thickness of the drawer fronts. The casters I use for this project are fully locking, meaning that they lock the casters from rolling and swiveling. This is actually a really important feature since this is going to be used for jointing. I used beeswax to lubricate and soften the sliding action of the drawers. Wax also changes the sound of the drawers, which, believe it or not, actually gives them a more polished feel. I securely fastened the joiner to the cart with screws. Just like the locking casters, this is an important step. It ensures that the jointer won't slip off the cart in the middle of jointing a board. I'm pretty happy with this build.
I no longer have to lift my joiner to move it around, it takes up only as much floor space as it has to, and it gives me some much needed additional storage with the drawers that are built into it.
Hey, thanks for watching. I really hope you liked this video. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe, and check out all my other cool videos. I'd love to hear what you think about this project in the comments section below. And if you have any quick questions you want answered, hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And until the next time I see you, I hope you have fun building something.